Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I want to continue the series of videos that I'm putting out right now. This series looks at the top 10 cards of every rarity that we have for this new set of cards. This new set obviously is the Wilds of Eldraine, and this video is going to cover the top 10 uncommon cards that we have in this new set. Alright, so I'm going to bring these out. They're going to be in no particular order. Here's the first one that I like. Two-Headed Hunter. Now you might say that this doesn't have a whole lot, and you'd probably be right. There's nothing overly special, right, about this Two-Headed Hunter, except the fact that you have this ability here. This ability for those of us that are not really familiar, this is the adventure ability. It plays another thing that you can use on the back of the card, right? So you can flip it here. You can see it goes back and forth, right? What I want to point out is this is the spell side. Alright, so the spell side says target creature gains double strike. Double strike's a really nice ability. It's very, very useful. You can play it on a creature and you'll do damage before you take damage. And a lot of times that will save your creature. A lot of times it'll do some really, really good things for like maybe the toxin tokens that we've seen come out. You know, this is a card that has a lot of uses because that double strike ability is so powerful. Alright, so let's take a look at the next card, Totentaz Swarm Piper. Alright, the big thing about this card here is this piece here, this first paragraph, if you will. It says, when a creature you control dies or loses a reinforcement, create a rat swarm token. Now, if you've seen the other videos, you can see that there's a real nice theme in this Wilds of Eldraine that I like to pick up on, and it's this rat swarm ability. Alright, you can see here, rat swarm will allow you to play a support card. It's a rat enchantment with one shield, as you can see here. The great thing about this is that these supports do not reinforce, which means that every time you play one, it's going to occupy another place on that gem board, right? And you can see here, it says deal 1 damage to your opponent's planeswalker. So you'll be able, at the beginning of your turn, to do 1 damage for each of these rat swarm cards that you have out, right? So you got 10 of them, each and every single one of them will do 1 damage. So that's really, really big. That's one of the ones that if you can get a lot of them out, it's going to do some great damage. You can build entire decks around that, right? So I do like this one, Totentaz. One of those that gets those rat swarms out. Has another ability here, this activate ability. It's not huge for the purposes of this card, but it can have some uses, right? You get a rat token down, or maybe you get a rat card and you get Death Touch added to it. So that's really helpful. Here's the next one I like, Moment of Valor. Alright, so it's a spell card. It allows you to choose a target creature. If you control that creature gets +1/+0 and gains prevent damage until the end of turn. This one is a nice one, this first ability, because you see here you have the flash ability, which means you can play it on your turn or you can play it on your opponent's turn. What I'm kind of foreseeing being done here is having this card, paying for it in full, and using it on your opponent's turn while you have a creature that has a blocking ability, right? So like Vigilance or Reach or something like that, and then you'll prevent damage to your creature while still being able to do damage to your opponent when they block. So that's good. Another thing that I like about this one is this second part here. It says, if you don't control the creature that you're targeting with this spell, you can give that creature imminent death, just so long as, of course, that creature's power is greater than 4. So that's nice. This is almost like a removal spell, a single creature removal spell with that imminent death, or if you have a creature that has the blocking abilities, you go prevent damage, and that will do some harm and prevent you from taking any damage. So that's really nice. Right, here's the next one, Boundary Lands Ranger. This is a nice one, I think. This one could be probably one of the best ones that are in this uncommon video. Alright, I'll read it to you here. It says, at the beginning of your turn, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you may discard a card, and if you do, draw a card. Now that doesn't sound overwhelmingly great. It doesn't sound like it's going to be a card that just destroys enemies, right? But one of the things I like about this card is it helps you go through your library and find what you want a lot quicker. And a lot of times that's going to be the difference between winning games and losing games. How quickly are you able to get the cards that you need right now? And this will help you to do that, right? So excellent, excellent card. Here's another one that I like, Neva, Stalked by Nightmares. It says when this creature enters the battlefield, return the first creature or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. When an enchantment card you control is destroyed or loses a reinforcement, this creature gets +2/+2. Now that's the really big part here. Those Rat Swarm tokens that we talked about, those count as enchantments, all right? So if you have one of those, they only got one shield, so they'll, hopefully be destroyed very easily if that's what you choose to do. When you destroy them, this creature here gets +2/+2. So kind of you can see what we're trying with, what we're trying for with this. We're trying to put down a ton of those rat tokens, those Rat Swarm tokens, and then destroy them. And once you destroy them, you get that +2/+2. There's some other cards out there. You can see that in some of the other videos that I've put out here that cover the top 10 cards. When you take a look at the common cards, you'll find that there are some cards, I'm not gonna do the spoiler, but there are some cards that will help you to put back those rat support tokens. As soon as those rat swarms are destroyed, you'll be able to put them right back into play. All right, so something like that with a card like this, it's gonna be great. Here's the next one I like, Taken by Nightmares. This is a spell card. It allows you to exile a target creature. And if you control an enchantment card, pick one of the first 3 support or spell cards from your library and fetch that card. You may look at this card and say, oh, that's nothing great, it's nothing super special. But I think this second ability here, pick one of the first 3 support or spell cards from your library, fetch that card. I think that's one of those that just really helps. You can see that this card probably can be used with cards or decks that don't have a ton of supports or don't have a ton of spells, and you'll be able to grab one of those, right? So kind of think of it like, let's say you have a deck that's got maybe 2 spells and 2 supports, right? You play this card, you kill an enemy creature, you exile that creature, and when you are able to draw a support, when you take a look at your library, pick one of the first 3 support or spell cards, there's going to be a good chance that the spell or support that you're looking for will be in that one of 3, right? So in this way, it helps you to exile the creature, get some good removal going, and it helps you to grab the next spell or next support that you need, right? So good card. Right, here's the next one, Ice Rod Sentry. This is a nice one here, an Elemental Soldier. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may drain 6 mana from your hand. If you do, the opposing creature with the greatest power gains stun. If you've played with the stun ability, you can kind of see why that is such a great ability, right? Stun, I'll click on it here. It maintains a creature as disabled for the number of turns that are included with the stun counter, right? So this is 1. That means it's going to be able to disable a creature, and it's going to keep him disabled for 1 turn. That's going to be really good. What I'm thinking is you can use this every single turn if you need to. You got to drain that 6 mana, but if you're able to do that, you have a creature on your opponent's side that won't be able to attack. So that's cool. Here's the next part of this card. I do like this one as well. When a creature gains stun counter, this creature gets +2/+1. So you get a nice buff there as well, right? So you're looking at using stun counters with this one here, and it's going to be something that really helps you out. Okay, here's the next one, Picnic Ruiner. It says here, when this creature attacks, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, this creature gains double strike until the end of the turn. That's kind of nice. I do like that ability to get the double strike going. That's super helpful. What I want to also point out is this backside of the card. Creatures you control get +1/+1. This is a very versatile card if you take a look, right? You get a creature here that allows you to do double strike, so you can pump him up, he'll do a ton of damage. And if that's just not what you're going for, if you're not looking to do that kind of damage, you want to buff a creature, this is a good side of the card to play, right? You get a buff for all of your creatures, right? So very versatile card. I think the versatile nature of this card just helps it to be that much more useful, and I do like it. Okay, Embereth Veteran. This is the next one I like. It's a human knight card. It says when this creature dies or loses a reinforcement, target creature you control gains this young hero role. I like the young hero role. It's one of the better roles I kind of foresee in the in this new set. The young hero roll gives a nice buff to all the creatures that have the young hero roll, right? So you can kind of get it set up. Hopefully you'll have it on each of your creatures, and you'll be able to get a nice buff for each of them, and it's going to pile up, right? So that's a really good one. Alright, here's the last one that I like for this video here, the top 10 of all these uncommon cards in the Eldraine, the Wilds of Eldraine series. It's Solitary Sanctuary. This is an enchantment with 2 shields, as you can see. When this support enters the board, target opposing creature gains a stun counter, right? So there's that stun counter that we like. We talked about that earlier. When a creature gains stun counter, your first creature gets +1/+1. So you can kind of see that this is a versatile card here. You have the stun counter ability, which gives you the defense, but you also have this here that will give you the buff, right? So nice. You get the defense, you get the offense in one card. I do like it here. Okay, let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe as always, folks, and good gaming.